Welcome to Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Borough in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington. Hi everybody, and welcome to Sportsline Trivia. Bob Tattern here, joining me tonight, Mike Pavlik and Michael.
Good evening, sir.
Pit game over the weekend satisfy you?
So happy. That was the only good. Wasn't the only good thing that happened. It was a good weekend. It was a nice holiday.
With the exception of the Steeler game, which I'm sure we're going to
be. And by the way, we are Christmased up a little bit here. We have some decorations. It's officially time to Cyber Monday today.
Won't be long. Yeah, Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday. Yeah.
Folks, if you want to get on the horn with us, it is 724-236-0430 or 0430. 724-236-0430. Give us a call. We'll talk sports. And if you're eligible this week to win a prize, just let us know that you want to participate on the trivia end of it, and you could win another one as long as it's every other week. Speaking of every other week, let's take a look at the rules and the regulations on winning on this program. Every other week at your household address is our primary rule. The Grand Salami or the Mystery Profile, the biggest payoffs, can only be won once a month. In fact, you can only try the Mystery Profile once in the calendar month. Time limits 15 seconds for the multiple choice. Grand Salami at 20. The Mystery Profile, we go quickly, clue by clue. First-time callers or anyone who's not been on the show over the past year will win 2 prizes at a minimum with a correct answer. And you can get the answers to the trivia questions by going to my website, and that's doubledribblebob.com. All right? And my Saturday morning radio program's still on the air, last I checked. WAVL Radio 910 on the dial. And it's Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. Sports history and sports nostalgia. Okay, lots to talk about. The Penguins, Steelers, the Pirates are still doing things behind the scenes.
Yeah, there's all kind of stuff. Gabby Sanchez was sent away today. I know that'll make a lot of people happy out there. I know it'll make Tony happy. Gabby is bye-bye. So we're going to need... this is just basically telling us now in the last couple of weeks they have said goodbye to Ike Davis and Gabby Sanchez. Pedro Alvarez is your first baseman.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, folks, let's take our first break of the night, and we'll return. Tony will be our leadoff man as we throw the first pitch. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back. Since 1914, the local area has relied on the Resevich family of funeral homes in deepest times of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession of the AK Valley, now 100 years strong and still doing things right. Its reputation and unquestionable service now continues with the 4th generation. The Resevich family of funeral homes, 5th Avenue, Arnold, and Leechburg Road in Lower Borough.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Shop 380 Discount Warehouse, Route 380 in Murraysville. Visit 380 First for holiday decorations and supplies. 380's entire inventory is on sale at discount prices. Don't wait, supplies are limited. And since you'll spend less on decorations, shop 380 for gifts. 380's inventory of new name brand furniture, tools, housewares, pet supplies, automotive supplies, and toys are also on sale at discount prices. Get to 380 Discount Warehouse for all things Christmas, Route 380 Murraysville.
Tower Auto Sales, sitting on Freeport Road in Blawnox, offers the best in product, the best selection, best customer communication, and best service after the sale. If you're looking for a particular car or maybe something in a certain price range, whatever, contact Mike Fento at 412-828-6202, and Mike will help you look it up, and he'll get you going in the right direction. Okay, Tony is on the line, but before we get into that, I don't know, this little gadget, can somebody come up and do a little close-up of this real quick? Only because, there we go. I want to give a couple of these away. I think I got about 10 or 12 in the mail. What this is a face mask, and that open slot fits on a ball cap. I think Mike demonstrated this.
Yeah, we had one here a couple
of weeks ago, yeah. If you'd like to have one, it's free. All right, just let me know somehow. I'll get it out to you. But
make a great stocking stuffer for the
if you can get it in the stocking,
the kids, nephews, something.
I've got them in green, I think an orange, a white, and I think this might be the only yellow one that I have left. So anyway, if you'd like to have one, contact us here at the program, and we'll get one out to you somehow. Let's go to the phones. Tony is up. Tony, welcome to the program.
I'll take the yellow one.
Oh, you want it?
Yep, I am. Give it, send to my I got 2 grandchildren, but hey, they all have to fight over it. Well, you said Sanchez is gone, huh?
He's gone. Yeah, they sent him packing today. They'll only have until tomorrow midnight to get him traded. Probably won't happen. They've probably been trying to do it already, but they made a trade with Tampa. Got Sean Rodriguez, who's a right-handed hitter that can play. He's basically going to do what Josh Harrison did before Josh Harrison got good, and that is play all the positions and be a backup, kind of a super utility guy. This guy's a pretty good player. They get him at a nice cheap price because he only hit about 212 this year, but that's not normally him. He usually does better than that.
A dozen home
runs?
runs?
Yeah, 12 home runs though, playing very limited time. So he's probably going to be happy to get out of Tampa and come to a contender. So that's a good guy to get for them, And then Gabby now, it looks with him gone and Ike gone, it really looks like it's just Pedro's job at first base. Probably want to grab another guy somewhere along the line.
Oh yeah, they're out with the shovels digging. They're looking. Okay, whatever. You know what I missed this last couple of weeks?
What's that?
Well, there was 2 things. One was watching the receiver going into the end zone about 24 yards ahead of number 24. Oh, if I missed that.
It has been a while.
I don't like Ike.
Yeah.
And see now, LeBeau said, oh, he's the best quarter in the league. What league? And I missed Sidecar, and he's back.
Sidecar, yes, he's made his triumphant return.
I haven't seen too many tackles yet. I've seen a jump on the back after they had him, and that. But it's a shame that guy was so great, and to continue to play when you absolutely have nothing left.
I'll tell you what, I remember being at a playoff game in the early '80s. They played San Diego. It was a great game. The Steelers ended up losing.
Lost.
Yeah, a foul out to Bradshaw, and Jack Ham and Mel Blount were 2 of the guys that were left and had nothing left.
That's right, nothing left.
It reminds me of that, and those guys, I think it turned out to be both of their last games. I think they both hung it up after that.
Yeah.
And it was a shame trying to watch Ham cover guys when you remembered how great he was.
That's right. I mean, I just don't understand their thinking on that. I mean, what did you have to prove? You've won 4 Super Bowls. You're in the Hall of Fame. You made MVPs and all this. If they continue to play and look as bad as they did, and that is, I don't know. It's disheartening, to see that. But hey,
And Ben didn't have a great game either.
Ben's playing terrible. You know, here's the thing about Ben, and maybe you guys agree. We've talked about this here back before they had those couple really good games that they had. And that is that knowing how bad the defense is, and it's bad. It's as bad as I've ever seen a Steeler defense.
Oh, it's awful.
If you look at that and you know that he knows, and I think everybody knows, for them to win, he has to play great. He can't just play good. And you wonder if the pressure's gotten to him or what. But he just, other than those two awesome games that he played, he hasn't been very good this year. And you hate to put it all on him, but there are other teams like that. You look at Indianapolis. They don't have anything else other than Andrew Luck and some receivers. That's all they have. And he's got to get it done for them. And you hate to put the blame on Ben, but I think he knows it going in. They have to. I mean, you got to start with 35 points and hope from there. That would have got him a tie yesterday. That's how bad it is. But he's just not playing well.
No, he hasn't been. I mean, like you said, two games. There's 16 games in the season. You're going to have a bad one maybe, but it's been bad every week. I don't know.
You know what, Tony, though? We were talking about this on the way up here to the studio tonight. Take a look at, and I don't have it here. That's the problem. I can't remember it all anymore either. But take a look at what the Steelers have left on their schedule. 2 with Cincinnati. Is it Baltimore?
No, it's at Atlanta.
And Kansas City.
And Kansas City at home.
So those are the 4.
They could lose all 4.
I think we could win 3 of the 4.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
I'm glad you're thinking that way because nobody else is.
Tony,
but the point, here's the thing. We have no idea what they're going to do. And just about when you're about to throw the dirt on them is when they're going to, next
they'll
week
do something. But then when you start getting satisfied, they'll throw the dirt on you.
Well, here is what I expect to happen the next 2 weeks, and having no idea what's going to happen the next 2 weeks. They're going to shock everyone and win in Cincinnati, and then the week after that they're going to go down to Atlanta and lose.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. I want to see how these next 2 weeks turn out.
I just don't understand. Well, maybe the Roonies are following the Pirates. They figure, hey, 20 years they didn't give the fans anything, and then two lousy playoffs, and they knew they couldn't go any farther than that. And look at the money they made. And I got a full house plus about 25,000 waiting list. Yeah, this if they keep continuing playing like they did yesterday, this will be 3 years in a row.
Well, you can't say it's money because they spend up to the cap every year.
Yeah.
They spend the most money they're allowed to spend. It's poor decisions.
Yeah, but they don't know what they're spending it on.
Yeah,
that is the problem.
Right, it's poor decisions.
Poor decision. That's from the top to the bottom. It's ridiculous to have a coaching staff that doesn't know what they need. It is awful. They got some of the worst football players you ever wanted to see and paying them good money.
Back in the 80s, they used to call these guys and complain that they had no incentive to win because there was no salary cap, and even though they were bad, they had sold out stadiums, waiting lists, like you said, and now at least they have to spend the money. But the problem is what they're spending it on and their drafts. And we'll get into that. There'll be plenty of time to get into that, and we'll kick that around again. But I really think the downfall of this whole thing started. Not necessarily Tomlin's coaching on the field, but Tomlin in the personnel department. Kevin Colbert's the same guy he was when they were drafting good players when Cowher was the coach. He's the same guy.
I mean, is it the management telling them, hey, watch what you're doing, or we don't want this, we don't want that? No, that's possible too. Don't get me wrong.
The only thing that changed was the head coach.
But if year after year, we need corners. Never went after anybody in the draft that was at the top of the list. Rivas, he bounces from one team to the other. Now he's with the Patriots. Don't you think we could have used him? There was a corner yesterday it was for the Patriots that they picked up. They said since he's come here, he was great when he was playing with Tennessee. And I can't think of his name, but anyhow, that he's really helped them out. Oh, we couldn't use him? And like you said, we're paying the money out, but we're paying it for garbage because we don't know talent. It's a disgrace, to watch what they put out there. Our line was getting pushed back into the backfield almost every play. I mean, they tried a flea flicker, and Bell almost got run over by the line getting pushed back in. And by the time he pitched it to Ben, he had to run for his life because everybody was in the backfield.
They were moving the ball just fine, and Haley had to outsmart himself.
I don't know. Oh, well, hey, this is what we're going to live with, and I don't know how long, but it's getting pathetic.
And you kind of touched on it a little bit there too. It's not even necessarily their drafting. They went out this year. They finally cleared a little bit of space and signed some free agents. Every single one of those guys they signed has been terrible. There hasn't been any help.
Awful.
There hasn't been any help from any. I want to get the list and actually go down the list of the guys that they signed this spring. And none of those guys have helped at all. From Mitchell, who's just, when Mike Mitchell does something positive on the football field, somebody call me. I'm going to make sure, please do that and let me know, because I might miss it.
You'll never get a call.
You start with him and you work your way down to Cam Thomas, is just terrible. And, one guy after another. But Darius Hayward Bay, let's throw one to him in the end zone and watch him turn around and spin like a top trying to find the ball.
Yeah, there's just, How about Archer, their draft choice? Maybe he should be an Archer. They should send him to with Robin Hood.
There needs to be.
He's awful.
Like on Rudolph, they have the Island of Misfit toys. We need to come up with the Island of Misfit draft picks from the Steelers, and I think Archer's one of them, and Landry Jones is the other one. Landry Jones, they waste a 4th-round pick on. The guy's never going to see the field. The only thing he does is take snaps in exhibition games.
That's all.
You need a 4th-round pick for that.
That's
and
if Ben goes down, let's say maybe for good, they're really hurt.
Oh, sure.
They have a backup, but nothing's going to take you anywhere, and then they have nothing behind him.
Well, the point is, you see all these holes they have, and all these places they need players, and then you look at these picks that don't even, they're not even used to try to address your problems. It's almost like, well, we're going to be so good that we need these toys, and we need a 3rd-string quarterback. That's very important. We're going to take a 4th-round pick. It's like, what are you doing?
No, they don't know what the heck. And poor Kiesel, huh? He come back, he's playing his head off.
He's done.
He's probably done.
They put him on IR
he's probably
today,
done for good.
That might be the end. Yep.
And that's just a shame. But there's a guy that they didn't sign and brought him back, but he panned out.
He was great. Well, here's the thing, though. As this goes along now, and I mentioned this yesterday, you wonder, did bringing back Kiesel, bringing back Harrison, re-signing Ike, and having Troy. To bring all those guys back now that they've done it, and it might have made their defense just a little bit better and made them a little bit more competitive. In the long run, what did they gain by doing it? Because now the young players haven't gotten any playing time, and you're going to go into next year, and it's all going to be like their rookie year again.
Yeah, it's just a mess. And for a team that's won 6 Super Bowls and probably should have won at least 6 more, to end up like this is disgraceful. But hey. I don't know.
Hey, they can still make the playoffs. I'm not giving up the ghost yet.
No, I don't even think. You can't play like you did yesterday and make anything.
No. And they probably.
Here we go. We drive 2 nice drives, and we got that field goal mentality again. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah. And they were doing well against New Orleans and the quarterback even said, hey, they were doing a good job on this, but we adjusted. Well, Pittsburgh can't adjust because they don't know how to adjust.
And think of the difference if it's 14-0 instead of 6-0. It is.
That's right. 14 it's a different ball game.
It is.
But and then he missed a field goal, and
snap. Yeah, they can't even between the holder and the snapper. They've had issues this year too.
Well, let me see. As soon as New Orleans went ahead, I went on a safari to Africa on a hunting channel. Then I was in Colorado hunting elk. Then I was making a souffle on
Food Network,
the Food Channel.
There you go.
And I did pretty good.
That's like what there's a lot of good. There are a lot of good channels on that cable, and it's very important.
Darn right. Why sit there and get frustrated?
Yeah.
You're hollering and you're swearing and this. Why? I don't do that anymore. I'm getting too old for that. So
exactly.
Tony,
let's do some
trivia.
Or I'll call Bob.
Let's do some trivia.
All right. Let's go with, let's see.
First of the month.
Grand Salami, I think I'm going to go with today.
Tony, you told me you were going to give it up.
Because I had to.
He needs to put that record out of reach.
It's out of reach now, my gosh. He's got 30.
No, you want more.
More. Okay, whatever.
All right, Tony, pick a number. 1 to 5.
Right. Well, since it's the first, let's go with number 1.
All right. You want to give it take your pick. Who do you want to?
Oh, I don't care. You know,
All
flip
right.
a coin. Either one of those are good.
Thank you.
I have to start marking down who's on there when I win.
You should
Send
do that.
Uncle
Well,
Vito
all
to
of the
visit the other one.
programs-
But go ahead.
I think George gives
all
out
of-
more prizes than us too.
All
Yeah,
of the programs.
he's in there too, but he's hardly on. I
All
mean,
of the
he
programs,
wanted me to go
Tony-
for it every week. That's what I can't beat that. But
Can he
Paul
hear me?
almost went out. He almost had a big one there.
All right, Tony, here we go. Number
All
one.
right, buddy.
20 seconds.
Oh, yeah, we know that. Go
The
ahead.
clock starts now.
Oh, yeah. It started 20 seconds ago, right?
You got 10 seconds left. All right. Who was the first American League catcher to win a batting title in that league? The first American League catcher to win a batting title in that league.
In American League, yeah.
Yep.
That was a good one. Ooh. I don't. How about? I know it ain't Yogi. That's for sure. That's a hard one. I mean, I know American League. Elston Howard.
No. Just
Yeah, I
happened.
think so.
Not too long. Just happened not too long ago. Joey
Oh, you're
Mauer.
kidding.
Yeah,
Who was it?
Joe Mauer. Then they gave him all that money, and now he's a first baseman and a light hitting one at that.
Who was it?
Joe Mauer from the Twins.
Oh! He's the first one.
That's unbelievable.
First
That's
catcher.
for sure.
Yeah, he was.
The American League came along in the early 1900s, and
Yeah.
it took them over 100 years to get a batting champion as a catcher.
I'd be darned.
Yeah.
I figured it was done way earlier than that, but
Yeah. Tony,
wow. Well, hey. All
stay,
right, guys.
stay in
Have
touch.
a good one, and we'll go at it again next week.
We will.
Okay.
Thanks.
All
a lot.
right.
right.
Take care.
Break time. And when we come back, we'll have more here on the program. 724-236-0430.
The Poorhouse on Route 8 in Allison Park has 225 20-ounce Bud Light drafts during all Pens games. Just $2.25. Stop by the Poorhouse on Allison Park and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services. Putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My First Book on Sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubletripplebob.com where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys Lower Borough.
Wicked Witches on Freeport Road in Cheswick has $2 16-ounce Bud Light drafts during all Pens games. Just $2. Stop by Wicked Witches on Freeport Road and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
By the way, whenever you call, or if you're here tonight in person, and who knows, Paul may want to do this tonight, I don't know. But we do have what we call the mystery profile. You can win up to $100 in gift certificates and prizes if you get the correct answer on the first clue. We have 4 clues altogether, and it is sponsored by Mattio's Pizza. Just was up there the other day, and lots of people in the place, business picking up. Glad to see that happen.
Nice.
They were involved, Mattio's was involved in a contest all over Western PA. I forget the name of the radio station, but they did place very high, for popularity. So we congratulate Mattio's Pizza on that accomplishment. So you have a chance, give them a call, order some pizza, or one of their great sandwiches, 724-904-7312. Paul is in the audience here tonight. So, Paul, good to have you.
Hey, how was your Thanksgivings?
I'll tell you what, I ate.
Yes, so did I.
ate.
And
Threw caution to the wind.
Yeah, exactly. It's only once a year, so I figure might as well go for it.
yeah, question I really don't know the answer. Who won the Grey Cup last night?
I don't know.
I know it was Calgary against Hamilton, but
Oh, and it was I
thought it was Hamilton.
I watched a little bit on my new device that I had gotten. My new, I don't want to give any.
your
commercials
new
on it.
implement.
My new implement. And that was the first thing I looked at when I set up the ESPN app. So I was able to watch a little bit. I watched the series of the game on there. It looked very nice. Your final score in the Grey Cup was the Calgary Stampeders 20 and the Hamilton Ticats 16. So unfortunately, Hamilton at 10
They had a stretch.
finished at 10-10 and the Stampeders were 17-3. So
And Hamilton's the closest CFL franchise to the Pittsburgh. I heard on the radio today, so
in their black and gold, yeah.
same thing.
So that was it, yeah. So that's.
Speaking of uniforms.
No wonder. Now here, before you do that, no wonder there were no hockey games yesterday. There was a game early. I wanted to flip to, and there was Detroit was playing at home against I can't even
Exhibition game?
yeah, it was at Detroit, and I caught a little bit of it, and it was on early in the afternoon.
Right.
And that was a good flip too. I watched the halftime of the Steeler game too, and but that was that.
So that's why
Speaking of uniforms, I've got to ask the both of you. Watching the Penguins, their last game, it looked like the Bruins. With that type of uniform, the black and the gold.
they're excellent. I love them.
Well, I'm not saying there's a problem
The
with
new
them,
ones,
but
yeah.
if you're a Boston fan, if somebody came in
Paul's a
and
traditionalist when
decided
it comes to uniforms.
to look like the
Have you seen
Pittsburgh
Louisville's
Steelers,
helmets this weekend?
No, I did not see
You
it.
wouldn't have liked them. I thought of you right away. Believe me. They were metallic red, some sort of a metallic red.
who's
with
this?
Louisville. And then Bob, and especially we love this when you have the numbers and the colors of the uniform are the same.
Oh,
It's dark gray with black or black with dark gray, and it's impossible to read them.
Just go back to the uniforms of 78, 79, and
Well,
because
don't
it
you
seems
think
that seems like what everybody wants. Anytime a team goes back to uniforms, it's always, you ever notice? It's always like 75 to 85.
Don't you think it's funny when they do that and then they sell a ton of them? The Pirates went back to the 70s with the gold hats, and everybody loves those. And the Penguins have done that going back to theirs from the 90s and the 80s, and everybody loves them.
one of my favorites is the one where the pirate hat is the one with the circles.
Oh,
Going this
the
way.
birthday cake hats.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
with the stars on them.
The Willie Sturgill hats with the stars on them, the birthday cake hats. I love them.
Yeah. How's Ken Tekulve doing? Is he doing okay?
He's
or-
doing well. the last
I
heard.
understand that he came, through the.
He threw the first ball at the playoff game.
Yeah, but
Right.
since then, I haven't heard
I've
it.
heard him on Stan's show. And he's, as a matter of fact, even all the way up through the transplant and everything, he still did his appearance on Stan's show on the radio. And he's supposedly doing fine, and I guess ready to take up this spot back on TV next spring.
And through the rehab, he's just amazingly.
Right.
Not that he shouldn't. I mean, the guy was, generally, and it's a big guy. We knew him as a skinny kid
but
as a
he's
pitcher.
big.
But
He's big.
yeah, he's.
Then he left here and he went to where? Cincinnati and Phillies?
He played the Phillies and I think maybe the Reds for a while. Yeah, he pitched over 1,000 games and never pitched a game and never started.
He does have a record. I've got to look it up. I think he does have one record.
It might be the most games, maybe most games by a right-hander that didn't. I know Jesse Orozco, I believe, has the most games ever.
I'm
He
going to
never
look it
started
up.
a game.
Right.
I'm going to look it up.
So those are types of records that those guys have, over 1,000 games. Think
Yeah.
about that. That's
Yeah,
now
then,
it'll never happen because they have to baby them so much. You can't pitch 2 days in a row anymore.
Then, do you happen to know the possession time in the Raiders-Rams game yesterday? It seems like every time I put the game on, I never saw Oakland with the ball. The Rams they always had the ball.
Somebody said that the Rams had they used their SEC West schedule and scheduled a 1AA opponent yesterday. The Raiders were that, but the Raiders somebody said, well, the Raiders got their one win. Forget about it. That's the end of that. It was.
And I was surprised yesterday at the Gator Bowl. The Giants and Jaguar fans were there, half and half. Like supporting whoever they went to see, and it's like, even though they're two crappy teams, it's like all those fans there it was like the NFL championship game or something, they had the passion.
A lot of times, and we see this with Steeler fans a lot, when the visitor, when you get a chance to see a game away,
right?
And everybody always says, well, they travel. So no, they don't travel well. There's people live there now, and then they go to the game, and you have a chance to maybe see your team one time. Like if you're a Giants fan that lives in Jacksonville,
yeah, right.
Once every 4 years, maybe once every 6 years, or once every 8 years, you get a chance to see your team.
Right.
You're going to put a lot into that. I mean, you get fired up for it, and I think that's what happens. When these teams travel, you see it more so. There are more visiting fans at games now than I think there have ever been.
Yeah, there was that stadium was packed last Monday. The Bills and Jets.
Detroit, that was free tickets though, but still.
It was I would say 90% full.
If that game would have been in Pittsburgh and I would have had a chance to go, I would have gone to see the game.
Right.
I know a couple of guys that went up to a couple of years ago. They went to Cleveland to see the Browns play the Raiders just because they could get tickets for free on StubHub or cheap on StubHub, a couple of bucks.
Right. So.
Okay, here we go into Calvi, if you guys don't mind. Let me give you a real quick one. Calvi and Mike Marshall are the only pitchers in all of baseball history to appear in 90 or more games more than once. And Calvi is the oldest pitcher ever to appear in 90 games in one season.
Jeez.
The oldest. Okay.
Yeah. So Calvi.
I mean,
who's going to hang around as a reliever as long as a guy like that, and then to get 90 in a year?
Right. Who was the second best reliever we had in '79? Was it Romo or
Grant
Jackson? You think?
Grant Jackson had like 14 saves, and Romo was more the eat up the 6th to 7th inning guy.
Yeah, he would come in.
And then Jackson, and he wasn't afraid to
yeah.
use Jackson to close if lefties were coming up. He would do it. You think about it. Teak had, I have Teaks up here, so Teak had 31 saves in 1979. Jackson had 14.
Right.
In this day and age, somebody would have 40, and then they would spread 5 out amongst other guys. Is how it would work. But yeah, he pitched in 78 and 79. He went 91 and 94 games. He pitched 1,050 games, no starts.
How many innings?
1,400 innings, which, now, 1,050 innings, somebody's pitching 900 games, somebody's pitching 900 innings with that. Especially those lefties. You see that when a guy will have, usually on the Cardinals, a guy will have 60 appearances and throw 38 and 2/3 innings, a lefty, because he's coming in to get one guy out.
Just for the heck of it, going back to Calvi, and it's amazing to me to read this. Calvi had the heart transplant operation September 5. Mm-hmm. Reminder, the wild card game in which he threw out that first pitch, October 1. It wasn't even 30 days,
wasn't even a month.
And he's out on the pitching mound.
It's amazing.
And he got it almost all the way, I understand.
Amazing what they could do.
He threw it overhand, by the way. I think that must have been, obviously the guy's heart that he got was an overhand.
Did he ever hit a home run?
No,
I'm not sure, but there was that one game where they put him
in left field,
and
he caught the ball.
I forget who
Candlestick.
it was.
That was Candlestick.
Wasn't it?
San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Grant Jackson came in to pitch to Darrell Evans.
And then
Darrell Evans hit a fly ball to left field to Kent Calvi, and he caught it. And that because he was going to come back in. What he wanted to do, he wanted to have Jackson pitch to the lefty, and I think Jack Clark or somebody might have been on deck, a powerful right-handed hitter.
Right.
So he wanted to go back to Teak at that point, and it turned out that Jackson got Evans out. He flew out of course he hit it to him. I mean, why wouldn't he? Kent Calvi had no home runs ball. As a matter of fact, Kent Calvi in 1,050 major league games had 10 hits.
10 hits.
10 hits, and I believe
no stolen
that's correct.
Base.
All singles.
No stolen bases.
No stolen bases. He did walk 6 times. What pitcher did that? Who would walk Kent Calvi? Now here's the thing: in 132, well, he struck out 61 times. It's about half. That's your bad level. It was half strikeout.
Right.
Paul, you want to do some trivia?
I won last week, so I'm in now.
Oh, you did win last week.
Yes.
That is correct.
Right.
That is correct. Okay.
Well,
that'll bring you up to date. We do have Mr. Tampa Bay. We also have Mark. We go for a break, which I think we're going to do now, and then we'll come back. But Paul, thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you
for showing up here at the Friendly Confines.
Happy first day of Buck. I guess you didn't. I'm going to guess Ken Wood's still out there. We'll have to get a report from him to see if he got one. Archery, Ken got a nice buck.
Yeah,
he did, and I have the picture to prove it.
You'll have some venison in your freezer.
I did. I know. He asked. He offered, and I politely turned it down. But
all right. All right, folks, break time. We're coming back. Stay with us. The show continues in a flash. Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Felderelli Square.
For over 38 years and 3 generations, Arnold Furniture has been the area's favorite furniture store. We have over 4 floors of living rooms, dining rooms, recliners, bedding, carpeting, and so much more.
You'll always find friendly personal service from one of the family.
And our prices consistently beat the competition, plus free local delivery and free setup guaranteed.
From our family to your family, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
From Arnold Furniture.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, 3 indoor showrooms await you at Tower Auto Sales in Blawnox. Tower Auto Sales is a full-service facility with an experienced staff. They have all makes and models they can get for you. You know, with the computers nowadays, you go in and you talk with Mike Fanto, and he's on the ball, and he'll be talking deal for you. Tower Auto Sales, just buy it. 412-828-6202 is the number. So we are back. Now, guys, what were you saying in my earpiece? We have Tampa Bay. And Mark will follow. Okay, Mr. Tampa Bay, thank you for tuning in, catching our show. Good evening.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Well, we're doing well, I think.
Yes.
Considering all the Thanksgiving food.
That's good, eh? I could have told you that. I didn't get the call last week. I could have told you the Stars would have lost to the Saints. They can't beat a losing team. They'll beat Cincinnati, and they'll probably lose to the Falcons and beat Cincinnati.
That's where I'm at. I'm with you. Because whatever doesn't make the most sense is what will happen.
Yeah. The Pirates, man. I don't know what direction they're gonna. I'm gonna get off football for a minute.
Sure, please.
I don't know what they're doing, man. I have no faith in the front office. If they're going to put Alvarez at first base, God help them, because
why wouldn't you?
They're for him throwing the ball to first base stands, he's going to throw the ball in the home stands now. He can't hit the ball. He takes the third strike, like Jason Bay did down and away. He'll swing at the ball. Unless he pulls off a spring training, like, I don't know. They need to go out and get a first baseman. They need to go get a bat.
I think a lot of the concentration in spring training will be with coaching with him.
With his fielding.
His position. And,
right. I think with him, the less he has to worry about, the better. I think that's been proven with him. I think that just everything gets going around in that head of his. And I think they're doing, so far, as we sit here on December the 1st, year of our Lord 2014, so far, I am 100% with everything they've done this offseason. Now, that's going to end if the pocketbook doesn't open up and take care of this starting rotation. Their payroll right now sits at about $68 million. Last week, Frank Hundley came out and said that he sees it getting up to 90. Well, they're going to have to hustle if they're going to spend that much. They're going to spend $22 million more to get that up to $90 million. Well, that tells me that they're going to have to sign some pitchers. I think they're solid at basically every spot in the lineup with the exception of catcher, which we used to have a catcher a couple of weeks ago. We don't anymore. But Nat, of course, Tampa is what you say about first base, and that's what this is all going to come down to. I think it's the right move. I think you put him there. I think that defensively he will be better than what they had there last year. And there's another thing to remember. He hit 15 home runs last year in a very, very small amount of time because he was injured and they had to bench him because they couldn't put him at third base because he couldn't throw the ball. He still hit more home runs than Sanchez and Davis did combined. If he even comes back and splits the difference between what he did last year and what he did the 2 years prior, and it's, say, 28 home runs, you're in a much stronger position at first base than you were last year. I think their lineup has a chance to be really, really good. I think you have some guys that are still on the uptick, and I think this is the way to go, but they have to sign pitching, and believe me, I'll be the first to hold their feet to the fire if they don't.
Okay. I saw in the paper the Pirates did offer Martin 4 years. What did they offer him at 4 years?
I heard it was say 660, 62, something like that.
Okay.
What
are they offering Francisco Liriano?
That's a great question. I'm willing to go, let's go $60 million for 4 years. I'll go 15 a year with him. I mean, is that too much money? Sure, it's too much money. But if you want to compete, and if that's the kind of guy you want to have, then that's what you got to pay him. They need 2 more starting pitchers, in my opinion, so that you don't have Locke and Worley both in the rotation at the same time. And then I think I'm prepared to go win the season that way.
All right, so the issue with Russell was still age because what Toronto offered him was only slightly more than what
he ended up getting $82 million
for 5 years.
Right, over 5 years, and there was no way that they were going to do that. The issue, Bob, you're right, is age, but it wasn't age for 2015. It was the age he was going to be at 2018 and 2019.
Right. Okay.
And how many 35, 6, 7-year-old catchers do you know who are still productive offensively at that age? And the answer is probably none.
By the way, I want to drop this in real quick. In doing some research for my radio program, which is coming up, Saturday morning, I found out that in 1916, major leaguers somehow, and I don't think they were unionized, okay, somehow won an agreement with the owners that if a career-ending injury got to them, whatever the end date of their current contract was, they got paid for. Now, if you're an owner and you don't have somebody that, it's a solid organization, I don't understand how they got that through.
Back then, I don't know. I know they have insurance.
I'm talking 1916.
They take out insurance on all these now.
Well, yeah.
And so they're insured. It's like, in a situation like Alex Rodriguez or something like that, that if something were to happen him injury-wise, and the insurance would take care of it, and they really don't have to. I mean, it's going to up their rates, and their premiums are going to go up. It's like basically the Lloyd's of London thing you always used to joke about with Mitzi Gaynor's legs or something. So we'll see. I mean, there's these next 2 weeks. These next 2 weeks are going to tell me how serious they are, and usually I'm disappointed. I'm going to give them another chance, and we'll see.
Right. Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna go for the Grand Salami.
All right. Mike is going to do a question. We have 2, 3, 4, and 5 remaining.
Give me number 5.
All right.
I was hoping you were going to go for number 4, but go ahead, Mike.
Okay.
There you go. Who is the only Hall of Famer to pitch 10 seasons and have a winning record in each season? The only Hall of Famer to pitch exactly 10 seasons and have a winning record in each of those 10 years.
Oh, shit. I don't know baseball.
Take a shot.
Take a guess.
Harvey Haddix.
It is not. It is a Bob Tattern curveball. Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
All right.
Yes, Babe Ruth pitched his 10 years, had winning records in each of those 10, and then became a hitter. And a good one. By the way, I saw thanks for that, Mr. Tampa. I saw a note today. It said, the Padres are aggressively seeking hitters that will help them contend in the American League West. I said, unfortunately, Babe Ruth's not available. Because that's about what they would need.
By the way, there was a sports writer who in Ruth's era said that the Babe was the best pitcher of the 1910 to 1920 era. The best.
I believe that.
So, anyway, Bill, thanks for the call.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, who's up next? We have Mark. Mark, how you doing, Mark?
Hi, Mark.
Good evening, fellas.
Good evening to you.
Hey, how good of a coach do you have to be in Nebraska if you have a 9-3 record and get fired?
It's the second time this has happened in recent history there, because Steve Peterson, when he was the AD out there for that brief amount of time, fired Frank Solich coming off of 9-win seasons and 10-win seasons also. He didn't get along with the administration, and they did. Let's put it this way. They just didn't like each other very much, and it finally got to the point where he was hoping they would fire him, and they wanted to fire him, and it basically became a parting of ways for Bo Pelini, and he's out at Nebraska, but that's a lot of wins. I think the last coach that got fired off a 9-win season was Dave Wannstedt, but I digress.
And okay, and then speaking of Pitt, I being at work, I missed stuff today. What's the talk of the chance or what bowl they might be going to? Well,
the way I've seen it explained is that the ACC has there are 2 tiers of bowls, and there's a first tier. There are 4 bowls where they have teams slotted in, where the better teams with the better records can go to those 4, and then there are 4 teams that are 6-6, and those will slot in at the bottom. And you also got to remember that Notre Dame comes up the works because they're back in it again, even though they're not really in the ACC. But so they might get to pick their pick of an ACC bowl also. So Pitt's going to be in the bottom group. They went to Detroit last year. That bowl is also in the mix. But I guess there's a new rule this year that they want to mix it up so you don't go the same place 2 years in a row. So it might not be there. There's one in St. Petersburg. My favorite, the Duck Commander Independence Bowl, which if Pitt went to the Duck Commander Bowl, I'm buying a T-shirt if there's a picture of Uncle Si on it.
Yeah.
I want that. But so there's that one, and then they could also get mixed around. I saw there's a bowl in Arizona, the Cactus something or another, that one of the major conferences won't be able to fill the spots, so they could go there.
No chance, Mike, for the pinstripe against Penn State?
That's what we all want, but, I mean, this is finally we found something that Pitt and Penn State fans can agree on, is that we really like Pitt to play Penn State in the Pinstripe Bowl, but it doesn't appear like the folks in New York want that to happen, that they would rather...
Boy, they missing out.
Remember a couple of years ago when West Virginia went up there and they didn't want to have Pitt because they don't want 2 teams so close, and Pitt doesn't travel either, so that hurts them. But I'd like to see it.
Well, Penn State would probably get, 3/4 of the fans?
Well, exactly, and they'd go, too, because they haven't been to a bowl in a few years since the sanctions. So even though it's a disappointing 6-6 year for them, the fact that they're back in a bowl is something.
You forget about the record.
Pitt goes 6-6 every year, so we're kind of used to it. Even, I don't know what to make of it. I know it's kind of disappointing, but I also know that there's only 11 players on that team that won't be back.
Okay, and one final thing. What's my chances for 10-6 that I predicted for the Steelers?
I think you have a chance, Mark. I had the sheet out earlier. I was looking at it, and I think 10-6 is a legitimate shot.
Does that get them in the playoffs, though?
I think it would. I think it might.
All 4 teams in our division or our conference.
Well, our division.
No,
everybody's
division.
At least 7-5.
Yeah.
So, and you look at it this way, too, that somebody's going to win the NFC South, and that's not going to be a winning record, and then somebody's going to get left out on the AFC side, much like Arizona did last year. Arizona didn't make it where they were 10-6.
Well, Kansas City losing last night helped Pittsburgh,
It did, and Kansas City losing to Oakland, and the Steelers have to play Kansas City. So but so many teams. If Miami wins tonight, half of the world's 7-5. I couldn't make a tiebreaker. I would have no idea. You're going to have to try to win your games, I guess, but it's what a mess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, this season, even in college football with the top 4, I guess this is going to fit pretty decent for their playoff system if they all stay.
What a great year! I'll tell you what, I've had so much fun watching the college football this year. It's been terrific. They really got it right with us. I hope they don't mess with it too much. We'll get some complaining. I'm trying to get the Buckeyes into the playoffs, but now that their quarterback got hurt,
he messed up ankle. Man.
Yeah, that might hurt him.
All right,
I guess
Mark,
I'm ready for multiple choice.
Multiple choice. Your turn?
You're up.
Oh, my turn. Good. We start tonight with number 4. And we're looking for, this is a Pirate question. Who is the only Pittsburgh Pirate to hit Grand Slam home runs in back-to-back games? It has happened to 21 players in the history of baseball, and we do have a Pirate on that list. Was it Al Oliver, Phil Garner, Ralph Kiner, or Willie Stargell?
That's all decent hitters too. How about Ralph Kiner?
No, I'll tell you what, it was Phil Garner, and here's
Phil
the story.
Garner.
1978, September the 14th, he hit the first Grand Slam, and his wife did not make it to the game for whatever reason. There had to be a good reason, but she missed the game. He comes home from the game, and she's almost in tears. You hit a Grand Slam, and I wasn't there. His comment was, come tomorrow, I'll have another one for you.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, he didn't know, but he got another one the following day. And there's only one guy who has done it twice in his career. That's the question for my Saturday radio show. Only one guy has done it twice in his career. Mark, thanks for the call.
Okay, fellas, thank you. Talk to you next week if I can.
Okay, we have a break.
Bye-bye.
Yep, we have a break to do, and then Rich will be on the line with us when we return. Stay aboard.
Wicked Witches on Freeport Road in Cheswick has $2 16-ounce Bud Light drafts during all Pens games. Just $2. Stop by Wicked Witches on Freeport Road and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold.
There once was a hungry road that wouldn't let drivers get very far. It wore out their tires, forcing them to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man who proved the right tire changes everything. With long-lasting tires in place, those drivers were back on the road to saving money. Drive longer with the Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile limited warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Tarentum and Freeport Road, Natrona Heights. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557.
The Poorhouse on Route 8 in Allison Park has 225 20-ounce Bud Light drafts during all Pens games. Just $2.25. Stop by the Poorhouse on Allison Park and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
All right, folks, don't forget now my book, Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes, available for Christmas gift giving. And if you wish, give me a call. I'll make sure that you get one. I'll tell you where to go, or perhaps we can even hook up together. 412-779-4443. By the way, I got about 10 of these made by a friend of mine. This is one of those things you put on a ball cap. It's a rubberized kind of a face mask. What do you want to call this, Mike? A tinker toy of some kind or a promotional gimmick?
Yeah.
But anyway, I've got about 10 or 11 of these things to just put in the mail. So if you want one, call me.
Make a great stocking stuff.
Yeah, 412-779-4443. Okay.
And it could serve as a muzzle for the dog, too.
You got a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Oh, the priest told a great joke Sunday. Remind me
Speaking of
when we're
church,
done
yes,
with
yes.
Rich. Okay. Rich, you're up. Go ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Rich.
How you doing?
Okay, good. Good to have you.
Hey, there was a game yesterday that caught my eye. It was Jacksonville playing the Giants. Now, Jacksonville only had one win going into yesterday's game. They were losing by 18 at halftime.
Uh-huh.
Now, is there some kind of a record? They came back and won 25-24.
During a break, Paul was talking about it in the studio here. We were discussing that game. It was that it was. He said it was like it was for a playoff game, and the crowd was all fired up, and it was a great game.
Yeah, that gave them the 2 wins then for the season.
Yeah, well, you never know, but that's the thing. You never know when one of those good games is going to break out. You just don't know.
And then also in Minnesota yesterday, they had 2 blocked punts returned for touchdowns. They hadn't had one since 1986.
I was going to say Bud Grant must have been really proud because his teams always had great special teams and they always block kicks.
Yeah, it's almost 30 years since the days of, Marshall was actually back in the 70s. But
they always used to pass rules. The competition committee hated it. And Don Shula would always pass rules so they couldn't block their kicks.
I can't remember the last time the Steelers had a blocked punt.
Their special teams never do anything extraordinary. It's always, you can't even get a decent run back out of Antonio Brown anymore, and their kickoff returns have been. Yesterday, I thought the world was going to come to an end. They ran one back to almost a 40.
Yeah.
Wheaton.
And the number 13, he only carried once yesterday, and I guess he got hammered for no gain.
Oh, yeah. On 1 yard to go, they had Archer the ball around. That was brilliant.
Like you said, Ben threw for what, almost 400 yards or more?
He went over 400.
On a sore arm or sore fist, whatever he had.
I guess if you have a fantasy team and he's your quarterback, the guy the Pirates got today, Sean Rodriguez, he said he was all excited because Ben's his fantasy quarterback. And it's a good game for him. He got 400 yards and threw a couple touchdowns. That's really all you're looking for, I guess.
Redskins quarterback Robert Griffin III, I don't think he's going to be there next year.
I think he's played his last meaningful time at Washington. I think they've had it with him, and I don't know that they're willing to fire Gruden after 1 year, and he's made it known that there's not that Washington D.C. is not big enough for the two of them.
He could turn out to be another Ryan Leaf.
He's not as messed up in the head as Ryan Leaf was. I won't go that far, but he could be. How about Akili Smith? Remember him?
Yeah.
not with Louis Prima, but with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hey, Manziel got in yesterday.
Yeah, there was also
he took
talk
about
about
80 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Doesn't Cleveland have a game upcoming with Indianapolis?
They're playing the Colts this week.
That's this weekend.
This week. Can you imagine Luck against Manziel?
First of all, he's twice as big as him.
I think they might still go with Moyer. Moyer, what's his name? Moyer.
Rich, we just got the cue from our engineer.
Before we do, Rich, Pitt, they beat Miami. I've never seen it before.
Oh, my God.
I've never seen Pitt win. Somebody asked me, I believe it was my nephew, when was the last time Pitt won at Miami? I said, I can't seem to remember it. Well, then I found out why. It happened before I was born.
Right.
So this is the first time in my lifetime they beat Miami in Miami.
I think that year, Pitt only lost one game. They lost to Navy.
That was the 63.
When Roger Staubach played.
Which is weird because guess what? It's the year I was born. And they won it before I was born. And then, so that was my birthday present from the Pitt Panthers. The Steelers couldn't help me out, but Pitt did. And I was very happy. Even though it's only going to be a crappy bowl, I'll take it.
Trivia.
Right.
Trivia, let's go, Rich.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Grand Salami.
Whoa!
Let's do it.
Number 4.
Number 2, 3, or 4?
I didn't hear what he said.
What was that?
Number 4?
Number 4. Okay, Rich. Is there an echo in here? Here we go. Who was the first African American to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Shorten to this point there. The first African American to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 20 seconds.
Was it Doug Williams?
It was not. The answer is Emlyn Tunnell. I believe he played for the Lions.
You know, it's
Rams?
surprising to me. I thought that I had this question
Lions?
on a multiple choice on my website a few weeks back. So, hey, Rich, we got to go. Thanks for the thanks for the call tonight. Okay.
Okay, we'll see you guys.
Thanks,
Okay.
Rich.
We got to run.
We do. It's time
So
to leave.
anyway, there's a joke our priest gave to the congregation Sunday. Next week, because I need at least a minute and a half to tell.
Giants in Green Bay, Emlyn Tunnell.
Okay.
Got it.
Anyway, we'll get one of these in the mail if you want. Give me a call. In the meantime, thanks for catching us. We're back next week at the same time on Sportsline Trivia. I'm Bob Tattern.
I'm Mike Powell.
And good night.
Thank you for watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toretto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.